Yo. What's going on, man? Today is October the 4th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. We got 2 games in the WNBA, 2 game threes, and then we'll get into, I'll do a quick recap, of course, before kind of talking about Thursday night football. I did have one play that I made yesterday. So we'll get into that, a couple of the comments, and jump into the 2 games that we have on the board for today. As far as the NBA previews, I'm going to do those in a standalone video for people that are interested. Just to make the show a little bit shorter, I'll just do 2 shows and do those. I did release the video for yesterday. I dove into the Chicago Bulls and Oklahoma City Thunder. So if you're interested, go check that video out. And today it'll be Cleveland Cavaliers and San Antonio Spurs. So check in the video section of my YouTube channel, not the live section, but it'll be just a regular video so people can go back and watch them and make it easier for people to find. That video will drop a little bit later today, and then tomorrow we'll dive into Detroit and the the Sacramento Kings. So just for people that are interested. As far as yesterday, don't have a graphic for it, but I did go 0-1 in the NFL yesterday. My best bet was Kirk Cousins under 1.5 passing touchdowns. He threw a passing touchdown to Drake London immediately and ended up throwing a few more. It was the first, multi touchdown throwing game for Kirk Cousins of the season. First game throwing 3 touchdowns as well. And of course, he does it when I take his under. Tampa Bay had also only given up 1 passing touchdown throughout the whole season. But it was a game that immediately you could just kind of tell was going to go over. And it was more of a shootout than I think a lot of people expected, myself included. So, I love the prop. But Kirk Cousins is starting to settle in with Morris, and having a new offensive coordinator down there in Atlanta. They did end up losing the game. But Kirk Cousins kills me yesterday. It goes over the 1.5 passing touchdowns. So 0-for-1 yesterday. Needing to kind of get back on track. See what the comments say before we get into the games for today. RJ Parlay says, yo. He says, what's happening, Chris? Stay blessed, stay focused, and always stay motivated, King. Let's get back to the action today. Appreciate that, RJ. Absolutely. Right back at you. Sending them vibes right back at you, my brother. What is that? Yacht C says, let's get it today. I need to get that bad taste out of my mouth from last night. What up, Peasy? What up, Bissy? Mark in here as always says, good morning, Chris and community. Let's cash today. What's up, LA? Doggy Bone says, Kurt went EA college mode last night. Yeah, Kurt looked like he looked like he was in Minnesota last night, man. He killed me last night. I was not expecting that. Before I turned the game on, Drake London already had a touchdown. So NFL is I'm happy NBA is starting to come back very, very soon. NFL is difficult to bet, man, consistently. Prestigious Prodigy says, what's good, my guy? What up, Prestigious Prodigy? Kenneth in here as well. Good morning. What's up, chat? He says, morning, guys. Primetime Cousins came through. Yeah, he definitely did come through, even in a losing effort last night. He looked great. I think he was on pace to throw for 500 yards last night. He didn't get there, but at halftime, I think he was close to 250 last night. And Tampa Bay defense had looked good against the pass. They had struggled against the rush. And, flip of a switch, it all just reverts and, goes back to, okay, it don't matter how you cap the game, just the opposite gonna happen. And sometimes it's like that. G. Martinez says Bucky Irvin gave it away. Yeah, that late fumble didn't help any, but it just kind of felt like Tampa Bay was gonna win the game. Atlanta was getting stops. It was not getting stops. I actually I didn't take Bucky Irvin, but I like Bucky Irvin a lot. I think his rushing yards was at 34.5, and he finished on 36 even with the fumble. Neither here nor there. I'm gonna give people just a quick. I like to put this in here just to show people the team preview calendar. So if you're interested in hearing the breakdowns of these teams, I'm going through strength of schedule, through last season recap, through projected this season, any bets that I'm making on the team. Definitely additions and subtractions for each team. So definitely, check these out. We've been through the Atlanta Hawks, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Boston Celtics, the Utah Jazz, the Chicago Bulls, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And as I mentioned already, The Cavaliers and the Spurs are on due for today. I'll upload that video in the next few hours as soon as I get done with this show, but just want to do them separate. So check these out. They are under the video tab, and some of them are under the live tab, but the Chicago Bulls and the Oklahoma City Thunder are under the video tab under my YouTube channel. So just for people that are interested, let's jump into the two games that we have on the slate for today. We have the Las Vegas Aces as a 3. I think this number touched 3 this morning, and I see the back coming back in on the Liberty, pushing this back down to 2.5 as well. Still not feeling the greatest, but y'all bear with me as we get through the show today. So let's jump into this one. Total up a little bit, 165.5. Last game total was 163.5, and it went over. I was on the under in that game. So this series, I talked about this in the standalone video I made yesterday. This series has not treated me well. I'm 1-2. So far, I did hit on the Liberty -4 in the first game, but I also was on the under. It went over by 0.5 point. I went back to the under in game 2. It went over by about 10 points. So I got to get right in this one right here. I think I got it. I think I got the right spot. I really, really do. So let's see how it goes. First thing I want to mention is just some facts over here on the left side. You guys can see that the Liberty, I think this was important to point out. The Liberty have beaten the Aces every single time that they've played so far this season. They're 5-0, or you can say that the Aces are 0-5 straight up, 1-3-1 against the number when they're playing against the Liberty this far this season. And another thing I thought was interesting to point out is that the Liberty haven't lost any of these back-to-back games that they played with a team so far this season. They've played teams in a back-to-back situation where it's the same opponent 9 times. They've won every single game. The other thing to point out is the Liberty have also been the best road team. I talked about this in the standalone video. They finished the season 16-4 straight up, 15-5 against the number on the road. Both of those were a league best. And 2 of those games on the road came against this Las Vegas team. They won both of them straight up and against the spread, won both of them by close to double digits as well. I know one of them was a double-digit win. The other one, I think, was by 8 or 9. And another thing to point out is that teams that go down 0-2 are 0-18 in the series overall in WNBA history, just for reference, because these are best-of-3 series. So Liberty, trying to go in here and close the Aces out, it would help a lot for, just for rest, especially with the other series kind of, it at least has to go 4 games, and we'll see how that series plays out, but potentially 5 games. So, listening to Sabrina talk about, really wanting to close this team out, understanding that they really haven't done anything except took care of home court, which is what they were supposed to do. I kind of feel like the Liberty can win this game. And I mentioned this in the standalone video as well. Somebody said, Chris, you use too many numbers, man. You got to go off, feel a little bit more. I think I do a good job of doing both, honestly. But I will say this. And they also said, Chris, you can't underestimate the heart of a champion. I don't think that you can underestimate the heart of a champion. I do believe in that. I do think that you get the Aces' best shot early in this game, and that's the way I chose to play it. Aces early. I think first quarter, first half are absolutely in play. If I had to play one, I would go first quarter, just because the Liberty have been a thorn in the Aces side in the second quarter. I can't remember exactly what happened in game 1, but game 2, the Liberty won the second quarter 23-14, I want to say. They have more depth, have the better bench, they're a better rebounding team. But if there's going to be a bit of complacency in this game, it's going to be from the Liberty early in this spot, I think. And I also just kind of feel like if you're the Aces, you throw the kitchen sink at the Liberty early in this game. So the way I chose to play it was first quarter. Let's see, first quarter point spread right now. Best number you could get is, you can get a 0.5 point on FanDuel at -142. You can get some -1s out there on some of the smaller books like Bet Bally and Bet Rivers. But 1.5 looks like it's the consensus on BetMGM, DraftKings, Bet365. So if you have access, that's the way I would chose to play this one. Vegas, they have a 27-22 lead at the end of the first quarter in game number 2 as well. So when I went through and just kind of looked at it, I saw that Vegas shot 44% from the 3-point line after shooting just 28% in game 1. They only made 63% of their free throws. They missed 7. And they ended up with 9 offensive rebounds, which I feel like is an outlier. They were a +1 in offensive rebound. I don't think that they offensive. I mean, there's a potential for that, but I don't think that it happens again. Liberty, the better team, the better rebounding team on the offensive and defensive end. I remember telling you guys that the Aces were the worst offensive rebounding team in the WNBA. So that heart and grit could potentially, happen. But I mean, Kia Stokes has already been ruled out as well in this game, and she's one of their better rebounders. So without her, Meg Gustis is going to play a little bit more. That does not bode well for the Aces. Alicia Clark is still going to play, but she's undersized as well. So we'll see how it goes. But the Liberty have dominated the Aces in points in the paint. In game 2, they were up 44-24. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, if you like the Aces, you do project them to take better care of basketball. They had 20 points off turnovers, the Liberty in game 2. I think they turned the ball over 10 or 11 times in the first half and only once in the second. So that's what I'm liking from a side perspective. I just think that the Aces just give it everything that they have early. I played them in the first half here. G Martinez says under this time. I can't touch the total, G Martinez. I would say under though, but I can't touch the total, man. It just I just can't trust the Aces defensively. They haven't been able to get stops. The Liberty just been getting whatever it is that they want, and that's the reason why these games have gone over. Now, granted, I guess you could say in game 2, the Aces also scored 84 points. But I mean, the Liberty have been able to get whatever it is that they want in this series. Liberty scored 87 points in game 1 and 88 in game 2. So that, I mean, they're hitting almost 90 points in playoff games. That lets me know that the Aces can't stop them. They shot 49%, 49% in game 2, and in game 1, I remember them shooting 50%. So I'll stay away from the total in this one. I feel like if the Aces is going to win, it won't be with their defense. It's going to be with their offense. And that lends itself towards an over. So we'll see. We'll see. No play on the total for me. Chad says first quarter over 42.5. Aces first quarter -1.5. And Aces first half -2 is what he likes. I like it, Chad. I like it a lot. I love the alignment there. First quarter going over makes a lot of sense. Both of the first quarters have gone over so far. It makes a ton of sense. Doggy Bone said, no way Aces lose tonight, right? That's what you would think, but Liberty are the better team. I also pointed this out in the standalone video that I made. Sabrina, people who watch post-game interviews, man, you get a lot of tidbits. Sabrina said, we're gonna go to Las Vegas and win game 3 too. Like, I don't think people caught it, but yeah, I watched it twice. Like, hold on, what'd she say? She was like, yeah, we about to go win game 3 in their place too. And I was like, oh shit, okay. So I think the Liberty gonna be locked in here. I just think that the Aces are gonna, give everything that they have early, and we'll see what happens late. Doggy Bone says sprinkle on Asia 30. My problem with Asia scoring 30 is that she just haven't been that aggressive. She takes what the game is kind of given her, and that hasn't lended itself to Asia going over. Also, long as Jacko Jones stay out of foul trouble, she's done a really good job of guarding Asia, this series. Asia had she had 24 points in game 2, 21 points I think it was in game 1. So yeah, I mean, it's not even that she shot the ball bad, she just hasn't been able to get to the shots that she wants because the Liberty are sending doubles as well, and she's a willing passer. Chad says, still don't trust the Aces to win, but should be pure desperation spot. And that's how I'm feeling about it as well, Chad. Love the alignment. What up, Jose? He says, Chad says, let's go. We align. I like when I'm aligned with Chad, man. He says, need 17 units for plus 200 on the season. Jesus, 199 and 130. Hell of a year for you, Chad. Hell of a year for you. Jose likes the Liberty. G421 says, looking at first quarter over point total for this one. G says, I can see the first quarter over for sure. Doggy Bone says, outside of the top 4 on the Aces, they kind of suck. Yeah, I mean, they got 10 pays off the bench, but now you're down Kia Stokes. You're going to need big minutes from Colston off the bench in this one. She was the person that was turning the ball over in game 2. PZ says, Aces first quarter. I agree with that angle. Mark says, I'm down with the Las Vegas early, but wouldn't be surprised if Liv pushed the win. looking out for a live bet. Yeah, I would agree. Chad says live bet under after the first quarter is better in my opinion than pregame. And no way you could disagree with this, Chad. I've been on the wrong side of that twice, and then the game kind of slows down. So absolute agreement with this one. PG says Liberty does have the size advantage and made a big size advantage. They've won the rebounding battle in each game so far. What up, Free Minds? He says, what it do, big bro? Caught the live. Did you move the time? Yeah, I did move the time this morning because I woke up and I couldn't get going this morning, man. I had to push the time back for the show. So that's why I am doing the show a little bit later. I typically get up about 5:15 and just, do my morning routine, get a quick workout in and shower, and then I do the show at 7:45, but I just couldn't. I still feel terrible. I don't know if people can hear it in my voice, but I just pushed the show back a little bit just so I can get a little bit more rest this morning. Fremont likes the Lynx. He says money line for me. I think they want a team that can match with the Liberty. See how that goes. Chad says with Stokes out and Clark in, it's a huge defense. It's huge defense. Definitely off swing. Had 47 game 2. Have this right around this number again. Okay. Quincy says, do you like Jacko Jones under her 1.5 threes? Let's see. Let's put some numbers to this real quick. I don't mind looking into it for you, my brother. So Jacko Jones under her 3-point prop. Jacko is under okay. Under 1.5 threes. It looks like the line is minus 240. Let's see real quick. Because if that's the case, I don't know what you're doing with that unless it's a parlay piece. She has struggled to shoot the 3-point ball. Let me see if I can get a number for it. Yeah, minus 225 is the best number you can get for Jacko Jones. She's under in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight games, which means every game in the playoffs. As far as head-to-head matchup, she has hit 4 threes against the Aces in the first game of the season, but she has not hit more than 2 in the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, last 4. So yeah, I couldn't talk you off Jacko to go under. She's staying around 3-point line, but she don't shoot too many threes. So those are my thoughts. That's a hell of a price though. I hope you parlaying that with something. Prop says Aces smoked the Liberty last year playoff series at home. I gotta go back to the well with that. Johnny's asking about anyone know if Chris gonna do anything for preseason games? Just curious. If it's something that I love, Johnny, yeah. Like I'm gonna be locked into the preseason. If you're talking about NBA, I will be locked into the preseason. I got all my notifications set from the beat writers, so I know who's playing, who's not, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, if it's something that I love, I'll share those plays with the members. I'm probably not gonna be doing shows, but the members will get the plays that I do play in the preseason. But it'll probably be, it won't be big plays, no 2-3 unit plays, no, probably just half unit here, there. I hate when I lose in the preseason because then I'm like, I probably just shouldn't have played it. But we'll see how it goes. There's a lot to monitor, man. Preseason is hard to bet successfully, in my opinion, just because you got to keep up with who's playing, how many minutes they're gonna play. They're gonna play in the second half, all of those different things. Malik is Asia ready to go to bed. Oh man, go home to bed. Liberty closing it out. Oh gosh. Oh man, she could be. I do kind of feel like they've turned it off for the season. We'll see how it goes though. I know Becky Hammond said post game, they will continue to fight. Skip G likes Jackie Young rebounds. DJ Prop says, yeah, I'm sure the Aces wish they had Candace Parker right now. That's a fact, DJ Props. They could definitely use Candace Parker. Buckhead says Liberty plus 130. Been a while since I seen that. Boy, let's put some numbers to that real quick, Buckhead. I'm glad you mentioned it. Put some numbers with that. So the Liberty, I think, have only been dogs twice this season, and I think both games have actually come against the Aces, and they've won both games outright. And they've actually been dogs 3 times. They were dogs against the Sun as well. 3-0 straight up. 3-0 straight up, 3-0 against the number. The Liberty is dogs this season. Makes a ton of sense. ton of sense, Buckhead, that they do what they do. As an underdog, they're winning these games outright by an average of 9 points per game. Beat the Liberty by 8, beat the Sun by 8, beat the Aces by 12. Makes a ton of sense. Chad says no problem. I guess Gustafson props if Stokes is out. She should get minutes and she should be able to stretch the floor. You know, the other thing, I was looking into that, Chad. I don't even think Meg Gustafson lines are available. I feel like if they were, we would have saw her points prop, her 3-point prop available. Let me just double check. I don't think Meg Gustafson props are available though. Yeah, they're not available. No Meg Gustafson props are available right now. Let's see. I tailed the Stewie under 1.5 threes from the videos. You know what, Mark? Man, I'm glad you tailed it because I'm going to talk about player props in a second, but I'm glad you went ahead and tailed that because the line was minus 138, which is about my cutoff limit for props. I'll play a minus 140 if I absolutely love it, but not too much. 145 is pretty typically my cutoff line. So I talked about it in the video yesterday. I didn't even send it out to the members. Didn't play it either, but it was minus 138 last night. 138 when I made the video yesterday evening. When I went back last night to send it out to members, it was minus 166. I'm not gonna give out a minus 166, but I had a lot of notes for Stewie under her 1.5 threes, and I think that is the right play. So I'm glad you got it in, Mark. Let's see. Chad says he took the Celtics at noon, minus 2.5. Fremont says Nuggets Celtics over. And Chad reminding everybody to go light as well. Jalen says, what's up, Chris? In chat, Liv's money line for me at plus 130. He likes that money line as well. Jose, we're going to talk about this game in just a second. He asked about Caleb McBuckets under her on points. And Big Fat Paulie says, what are your leans on these totals, Chris? On this total here specifically, I would go under. But I can't play another total. I've given out 2 totals so far, and I've been wrong on both. But what I will say is, when I talk about the Liberty on the road this year, they've been a much better defensive team than I think most people have thought about. They are 12-8 to the under on the season. But like I said, if the Aces gonna keep the game close, I think it's gonna be because of their offense. I don't think they can stop. I literally don't think that they can stop the Liberty from scoring. I don't think the Aces can stop them. So my look would be towards the under. I can't play it again. I can't keep losing money on the unders though. So I stayed away from the total. Doggy Bone says over Stewart assists. And Damien asked him about the Nuggets. So let's get into the player props real quick. I did have another graphic that was here. So this trend on the screen right here is pretty much just saying you look at home favorites that are down 0-2 in a series, but the books give them enough credit to actually put them as a favorite. They only 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the number in the Killer Sports database. It's only happened 5 times, but I should have probably highlighted this a little bit more. But if you look right, if you look right here, this says Q1. This is quarter 1. They're winning these games 21.4 to 17.2 across the 5 games. They still end up winning the game by 1 point, but that first quarter is a big margin. That's how I kind of see this game going. So that's why I played the first quarter. It's a 4-point difference in the first quarter here. So that's why I played the first quarter. Going back to this game real quick, Sabrina. I talked about Sabrina on the video yesterday as well. Her points plus assist line was at 24.5 on my prop bettors. I like that number for Sabrina. When I look back, the line has moved. This is another line that's moved. I think it's 25.5 on all sports books now. But if I had to play one or the other, I would probably just take her. I would probably I'd probably take her points, but I'm probably not gonna get there just because I hate when the line moves. He's taken the matchup versus the Aces very serious this season, in my opinion, and it's been all season long. In her 5 games versus the Aces so far this season, she's had 27 points in assists, 26 points in assists, 18 points in assists, and 26 points in assists. And then last game, 29 points in assists. So she's over in 4 to 5 games that she's played them so far. In the 1 game that she missed was the game without Asia Wilson in New York. she had 18 points and assists, and that was because she shot 1 for 9 from the 3-point line. Sabrina typically shoots a lot better from the 3-point line than that. She's over in 3 of her 4 playoff games in general, with the only miss being in game 1 against Atlanta, where they blew Atlanta out. She only played 26 minutes in game 1. And then I talked about the narrative in the video yesterday as well. Sabrina's shoes were stolen. For people who remember last year, they were stolen when she was in this gym in New York. And of course, I didn't even recognize this, but I did not change the graphic in this video here. This should not say that. Let me change that real quick before I get back into this. I thought I did a good job of changing all of these. That should say, yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. So yeah, last thing I wanted to mention, Sabrina's shoes were stolen. And, I just kind of feel like she holds a grudge against the Aces because of that. She balled last year after her shoes were stolen, from the gym. And like I said, she takes the matchup serious. She said that they were going to win the game. And this is the player that I'd be betting on if I was betting on anybody else in this game. I do think that, Stewie could have a big game offensively as well. But I like Sabrina. I just know she's going to be on the floor a lot. So that's the way I would chose to play this one over any of the role players for the Liberty in such a big game here. Buckhead says Kelsey Plum, big game. Could be a bounce back for her. Definitely could be a big bounce back for her. She got in foul trouble in game 2, ended up being on the pond for a large part of that game. But they're going to need her, Jackie Young, Asia Wilson. They're going to need everybody to step up and play big in this game. Prince says live bet the under when it reached mid 170. When it reached mid 170s, I would be there with you as well. Malik says, what's up with the fourth quarter margin? Is that because the Aces have been losing going into the fourth quarter? If you're talking about this margin here, or you're talking about in general, I think Aces just been having to play from behind in the first 2 games. Because the Liberty had the lead in the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter in both games. So I just think that's the Aces not really giving up and showing some resiliency. But the Liberty continue to answer when they need to. And I think that they do again tonight. It's just too much length. Like I said, their length, with the level of energy that they're putting out there and the way that they're playing, man, you could tell that they want to win the championship. So, and I need them now because I gave out the 2-unit play on Liberty to win the championship at minus 125, I think it was, before game 2. So sent that out to the members. But I guess that's how I would answer that question, Malik. Let's go over to the second game on the board. We got the Minnesota Lynx. They will be in Connecticut playing against the Connecticut Sun. Spread is, I think it's opened at 2 in favor of Connecticut. Money's come in on Connecticut to move it to 2.5. Total 151, hasn't really moved a lot at all. So a couple different things for this game here. Excuse me. And I realized that I did the games backwards because this game I think starts first. But what I have here, just some trends on the left-hand side. You guys can see that Minnesota is 15-6 straight up and against the spread on the road. This was, I think, the second best ATS team behind the New York Liberty. 5-0 straight up on the road in their last 5 games. 7-3 straight up, 8-2 against the number as a road dog. This, I think, was the best road dog team in the WNBA. And then on the opposite side, you got the Connecticut Sun, 16-6 straight up at the crib, but just 8-13-1 against the number, 15-13 straight up, but just 7-10-1 against the spread as a home favorite. And I looked at home favorites that are pretty much what the bottom one says is the home favorites that won game 1, but they lost game 2 in a round that comes after round 1. So excluding the first round, of course, because it's only the best of 3. It says that the home favorite bounces back in this spot after taking game 1 and losing game 2. They're 7-1 straight up, 5-2-1 against the number. Says that Minnesota loses this one outright, and I'm not sure. Excuse me. I'm not sure what to do with this game. In my opinion, I think, man, I just hate the way that the Connecticut plays. I know I say this a lot, but I put over here in the opinion side that in game 2, Connecticut, their 3-point regression did come right? In game 1, they shot 40% from the 3-point line. In game 2, just 25% from the from the 3-point line. And then Minnesota, they shot 42% from 3. They were a +9 from the 3-point line overall. And that was the difference in the game. They ended up winning the game by 7. They were a +9 from the 3-point line. In the 2 games they played versus Connecticut this season in Connecticut, they shot an average of just 29% from the 3-point line. So some regression could be coming. I low key just this is not like, as much as I want to bet Minnesota to win the game and to win the series, because you can get them at like -110. I do feel like they're a better team than Connecticut. I just watch, Stephanie White and her defensive schemes, and they match up really, really well against Minnesota. Minnesota likes to shoot a bunch of threes, and Connecticut is a great 3-point defense. Minnesota, likes to play motion offense. Connecticut, one of the better defensive teams, if not the best defensive team in the league. And they really mucked the game up against Minnesota. It took a big game from Courtney Williams in game 2. Alana Smith, bounced back and hit a couple shots. And the reason why I can't lay the points with Connecticut is because, one, their offense just could fall off a cliff. So whenever you're laying points with Connecticut, it's always tough because we know that they can go on big droughts where they just have trouble scoring the basketball. But the other thing that's really stood out to me was Nafisa Collier, her performance in game 2, and them still being able to win the game by 7 points. That really, put a big hiccup in the game for me. She ended the last game in game 2 shooting 3 for 14 from the field, 21%, 1 for 4 on threes, and she finished with 9 points. They still won the game by 7. That tells me, especially with me knowing how good Minnesota plays on the road, Minnesota can hit they can win this game. It's indicative of the point spread. They're only getting 2.5 points, but and I low key want to take Minnesota. I do think that they're gonna be fired up, motivated to try to come in here and get their home court back. But it's a difficult game for me to bet. I think if I like anything in this game, I'll probably end up betting it live. It would not surprise me if Minnesota won this game. No, really wouldn't surprise me if Connecticut was able to hold Minnesota down and win the game as well. Because the last thing I want to mention is that Fee has really fallen off a cliff. Of course, she is a much worse defensive team against the Phoenix Mercury, where she goes out and scores 38 points in game 1. She has 42 in game 2. She's averaging 40 points per game, in the first 2 games. What does she do against Connecticut? 19 points in game 1. And then, like I said, 9 points in game 2. So just 28 points in 2 games so far. And, and when I went back and watched this game, I did go back and watch it. A lot of what Connecticut is doing is they're doubling her. They're making it difficult for her. They're not going to give her a whole bunch of paths to success. They're going to send doubles to her. Another thing Connecticut does a really good job of, because Minnesota likes to run that high pick and roll and kind of, dump off to the rollers. They're doing a lot of rotating, and that's mucking the game up, making it hard for Minnesota to score the basketball. So I say all that to say this: if there's a play that I like in this game a little bit more than anything else, it's actually Nafisa Collier over her assist prop. The number is 3.5. You can get it on ESPN Bet at +100. A couple other books got this. It's juiced to the under, but I actually think that she goes over. And a lot of it is because she's a willing passer. I mentioned the double teams that she saw in the last game when she catches the ball on the post. Whenever she drives, even if she catches it on the perimeter, if she drives into the paint, they just rotating one person over, and then everybody else is in scramble mode. On the season, she has 4 assists in 12 of her 19 road games. That's 63% to the over. And then from a head-to-head perspective, she's actually gone over 3 assists. She's actually gone over in 3 of the 5 games versus Connecticut so far this season. Each of the first 2 games of this, and in each of the first 2 games of the series as well. So I actually think that they're going to make anybody else beat them outside of Nafisa Collier. It seems like that's what Stephanie White's game plan is. And I think Fee's a willing passer. So I like Fee to go over her 3.5 assists a little bit more than anything else in this spot. On the opposite side, it's Alyssa Thomas. You can get Alyssa Thomas points and rebounds. I only saw it available on Bet365, and it's juiced to the over at -125. But Alyssa Thomas, I want to leave her assists out. I want to take her points plus rebounds here. AT is over her points and rebounds line in 3 of her 4 playoff games so far this season, with the only game that she didn't go over coming against the Fever in game 1, where she shot just 6 for 15, and that was also a blowout as well. Versus Minnesota, though, she's over in 4 for 5 meetings so far this season. She's coming off a game where she had 27. She had 28 in game 2. She had 27 in game number 1 in the playoffs. And the reason why it makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, is because if you're Minnesota, you got to stay connected to the shooters on this team and make AT to score, but not a facilitator. They don't want her to try to get everybody else involved. And, it's a correlation that if she ends up with a bunch of assists or a triple-double, they typically win those games. So I think that correlates with, AT under her 8.5 assists, a line that she just stayed under in game number 2. I think she had finished with 7. She's cleared the line in 3 of her last 5 games versus Minnesota this season, but her assists have declined in 4 straight meetings, only having 7 assists in her last game, like I just mentioned. So those were the 2 player props when I really dove in that made the most sense. I think, like I said, the Feisha Collier continues to get double teamed and make it difficult for her to score the basketball. And then Alyssa Thomas over her points plus rebounds. Let's go back and see what you guys are saying about that one. I know I talked for a lot. Let's see. Doggy Bone says over on DeWanna Bonner, points plus rebounds. Over on Alyssa Thomas, points, rebounds, and assists. Under on Caleb McBride, points, rebounds, and assists. Okay. I hope you cash him. I would take Alyssa Thomas assists out, but other than that, I hope you cash him. I do think I did look into DeWanna Bonner as well, and I think DeWanna Bonner. I didn't look into her points plus rebounds. I looked into just her points. I think she could get there on her points, and it's not because of her, accuracy. She's actually shot the ball really poorly, but she's gonna get the shots. Like outside of her and not Caleb McBride. Outside of her and Marina Mabry, those are the 2 primary scorers on this team. So, she's over in 3 of her 4 3 of her 4 playoff games so far. She's coming off a 17-point game where she shot just 5 for 15 from the field. She shot 33% in the last game. In game 1 against Minnesota, she shot terrible, 4 for 17, 24%. She went under this number. But the shots are always going to be there. She's going to get 14 shots, close to 14 shots per game. In the playoffs, she shot 11 times, 14 times, 17 times, and then 15 times. And I can see that continuing. So, she just needs a points per shot. Her field goal percentage has been terrible, but she continues to chuck them. So yeah, I can see DeWanna Bonner going over. I can see that. G Martinez likes the Lynx. Fremont says Lynx money line for him. Mark is on the Sun. He's also on the Sun money line, also on the over 150.5. G421 says the Sun and Lynx go under again. I have no idea, actually. I think Minnesota's offense has actually been better on the road than it's been at home. The other thing that kept me off was Minnesota as a road dog. I think they've gone over in every single game so far this season. That was something that really kept me away from this game. I think the total is about right. These 2 teams, it's gonna be an ugly game. If I play the total, it'll probably be live after a terrible first quarter. Maybe you probably can get a live over 130, honestly, in this game, if it starts off really, really slow. So Lynx as away dogs, they are, the Lynx as road dogs this season finished 7-2-1 to the over. That was one of the things that kind of kept me off of this game. And they went over against the Sun as a road dog, 78-74. Total was 153.5. I think, what is that? 1 point? Went over by half a point. I'm not interested in playing totals when they get like that. Like going over by half a point, I don't think that there's a lot of value, in my opinion, on the total. So I stayed away from that one. Chad says, like the Lynx first half. Mega under, AOD says. Chad says not over. Sorry. So he likes the under, I think he means. AOD says desperate, boring Connecticut Sun team, staggering staggering defense, both sides, Brick City. I think we see a lot of bricks in this one. Ron G says Lynx will win this one. Chad says been calling Suns fraud all season. Definitely not backing off now. Lynx on the money line. I like it, Chad. I do like the Lynx, man. I thought I'd get there, but I do like the Lynx. I feel like I should have played them last game, but I didn't, so we'll see. Lynx team total over for Ron G. Lawrence says, what do you think about DeWanna Bonner for 20 points, Chris? 20 is a lot. With her shooting the ball the way she's been shooting, it's difficult for me to tell you she's going to get 20. Let's see. Head-to-head, she has had 22 of the 5 times that they've played so far. But like I said, her field goal percentage has just been so bad, man. I don't think it's going to get any easier for her. She shot 4 for 10 in the game that they lost at home to Minnesota by 2. She shot 4 for 17 and then 5 for 13. So that's the thing that kind of keeps me off DeWanna Bonner, especially to score 20. I'm hesitant to play 14 and a half, but don't let me talk you off. If you like it, take it. I think her, points is juiced to the under, minus 125 for under 14 and a half. Staring Company says, hit the like button. Let's get the 50 likes. Man, 50. We should get more than 50, but I appreciate that, Staring. AOD said we need 100, and that's what I'm thinking too. We need 50, but it's all good. G421 says first half over. They went under by 1 point. Last game, first quarter and first half. Okay. Let's see. Chad says I agree with all of that about the Sun, but definitely Lynx had for the most part gotten decent looks from 3. They just missed. Regression is due, even from the prison ball defense. And yeah, I guess I kind of agree with that, Chad. I just kind of feel like they're the better team. If I kind of think that while the series is tied 1-1, I want to bet Minnesota to win the series. I think they're the better team. But like I said, Connecticut matches up really, really well, and that's what's holding me up in this game. JW likes the Lynx money line. What up to my guy Justin? Hope all is well, Justin. Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Buckhead says something I said is a good play. Not sure what. Kel says, yeah, that 3.5 assists from Fee is low key. Has been cashing under the radar. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody, girl. Justin says he likes AT over her 14.5 points. Her points prop has been good, man. Like I said, if you're Minnesota, if you watch the game, you can see Fee is guarding her. She's backing up, like trying to help out on somebody else. So, Alyssa Thomas gets the ball running downhill, and then it puts the defense in an awkward position because they don't want to foul her, and they end up giving up layups. It also takes them out of position to be able to get the rebound, which she's been getting. She's been doing a pretty good job of offensive rebounding. That's why I like her points plus assists, Justin. AT over her points and assists. Kel says, yeah, Chris, I agree with that. Points plus rebounds for AT as well. Lynx 8 points, fourth quarter in game 1 is not happening again. Likes the money line for JW. Okay. Jeff says Alyssa Thomas has had 15 or more points in 11 of the last 12 versus the Lynx, over 14.5 here. Prestigious Price says Lynx win the game outright. Jalen likes the Lynx. Joseph, let's go. We need a hit. What else? Mark says Sun win tonight. Lynx win the series. Our future on the Libs and on the Lynx. If they both he wants them both go to the finals, so either way he could win. Fremont says they want the Lynx in the big game. We'll see how that plays out, man. Just getting into a quick recap, and I also remind you guys one more time the NBA previews are underway for people that want to tap in and kind of get ahead of and just kind of get a recap of what's happening so far with some of these teams, man. It's hard. It's not a hard work, but it's a lot to dig into. But it's fun, man. I will be dropping the preview for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the San Antonio Spurs a little bit later today. It won't be a live video, but it'll be under the video tab for people that are interested. Getting back into the plays. Going back to that first game, I like the Aces early first quarter is what I chose to bet. Sabrina number has moved from 24.5, so we'll say this is 25.5. But I also like Sabrina a lot in today's game. I already kind of laid it out for why. Have not locked in Naphisha Collier over her 3.5 assists, but right before the show, I locked in AT over her 23.5 points plus rebounds. Like I said, I think they're gonna make her a scorer to try to keep everybody else numbers down, to continue to play off of her. And AT been making big time plays, so I like Alyssa Thomas points plus rebounds, Sabrina points plus assists. Nafisha Collier over her 3.5 assists. Have not bet it yet, but these are the ways that I'm looking to get paid today, man. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys. Those are my top bets for the game. I do really want to take Minnesota plus the points too, but we'll see how it goes. Still got some kind of time to kind of think about it. If I do play it, I'll send it out to the members. And that's all I got for you guys today, man. Resources that I use to handicap the games are here for people that are interested. Check out OddsJam. Referral code CBC will get you 20% off your first month. And Moneyballer as well, 50% off your first month using code ChrisBeCappinn. I continue to see people sign up for Moneyballer, and nobody's really giving me feedback. I want to know if it's easier to handicap the games for you guys that are people that have been using it the same way that I do, because I wouldn't just put it up here if I didn't think it was helpful. So I'm interested in feedback from you guys. Let me know if you have signed up for it. Has it been helpful for the time that you spend for handicapping the games, any of the sports, because it's everything offered over there. So check the two sponsors out of the show. If you don't like either one of them, you can always cancel. But yeah, I love them. Best of luck to everybody today, man. Whatever it is that you end up betting. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Like, share, all that good stuff. Let me know what your best bet is for today as well. Link for all my official plays will be in the description of the video, as it always is. Best of luck on all your action. Be back tomorrow breaking down 2 more NBA teams as we get into these previews. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Y'all enjoy your Fridays. I'm out.